Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon everyone. All right, thank you for your patience and thank you for being here today. There we go. Now can you hear me? Good, all right, thank you. Well, welcome everyone to the celebration of life for Duane Halisheff. My name is Andrea Leader, formerly Andrea Halisheff, and I'm Harold's daughter. So that's how I fit in the picture, and Duane was my uncle. And so it's an honor for me to welcome you today on behalf of the family as we maybe take a little bit of a trip down memory lane and share some stories and just really take a special time today to celebrate Duane and everything that he meant to each of us individually and as a group of friends and as family. So I'll start with just what I know about my Uncle Duane, which may or may not be true. So I'm open to corrections and suggestions. If anybody, if I'm saying anything incorrect, just shout it out, and I'll be happy to hear it otherwise. So, but Duane was born in December of 1947 to Bill and Delma Halisheff, the third son of 4 boys. He spent his early years in Wetaskiwin until a business opportunity opened up for my grandparents in Edmonton, and then the family moved to Edmonton in 1950. Back in the 1900s, it sounds a long time ago, doesn't it? Eventually, after a while, they built a couple of homes in Edmonton and eventually landed in their property on 80th Street, where Duane and the boys did most of their growing up. As a youngster, you can imagine there was always hard work to tackle and finish being a Halisheff boy, and Duane and his brothers were tasked with a lot. Though it didn't mean that it was all work and no play for the Halisheff boys. In fact, okay, we got some people agreeing in the background there. Okay, great. In fact, if you are here, you know that the Halisheff boys were general troublemakers. And Duane took his lead from his 2 older brothers, Harold, my dad, and Art. When Craig came along, the youngest son, Grandma and Grandpa had their hands full to manage them, first instilling in them a work ethic, of course, and then disciplining them when things would get out of hand, which they often did. Let's just say that the Halisheff sons didn't fall far from the father's tree, and there was considerable energy spent in those early years reining those boys in, Duane included, with varying degrees of success. So outside of school, Duane and his brothers spent a lot of time on the family farm out near Battle Lake helping their grandparents, so my great-grandparents, with chores, so picking rocks, harvesting potatoes, working in the garden, which invariably led to great-grandpa Charlie chasing all 4 of them as they scattered from their places of work, where they were supposed to be working, but they weren't. They were fooling around. Duane knew that the safest place was always behind the apron of great-grandma Nellie, so he always knew to go hide behind Grandma Nellie. Of course, in Halisheff style, the shenanigans continued as he got older, and in a recent conversation, he told me one time the story of how he got arrested twice on the same day. And I quote, "Yeah, the old man was really pissed off because he had to leave work to come and get me." He was really bleeping mad when he had to come and get me the second time. And we laughed. In time, of course, Duane met Diana and they were married. And together they had 3 girls, Dana, Cori, and Carrie. And sadly, they lost their beautiful Dana in infancy. And then in time, each went their separate ways. And then Duane met Sharon and her daughter, Jennifer. And together, Sharon and Duane had 1 daughter together, Chelsea. So I'm thinking to myself, that's 5 girls all together, Duane. Wow, no wonder he had such a hard time. Anyway, Duane, as you know, spent most of his working career as a truck driver, which I believe he loved and hated at the same time. Stories he would tell would invariably include how stupid and inept the receivers were and how most people did not know how to load a truck properly. Okay, most are laughing, very good. Thank God there were a few who managed to impress him. They were the lucky few, I would say. And he made some great friends along the way, some of whom I think might even be here today. Over the years, Duane and all the boys spent a lot of time helping Grandma and Grandpa, building houses, building sheds, working on this job for Grandpa, working on that job for Grandpa, and various other tasks that they would be assigned the moment they got out of the vehicle, even before the truck stopped moving. They were told what they were going to be doing, and of course there was lots to help with around the farm. So from fixing this to fixing that to trimming a tree to doing whatever needed to be done, Duane did that, and he helped his parents a lot, and especially in their older years. Even though there was a little bit of grumbling, the work got done nevertheless, and it was always fun to work with his brothers, getting these things done, knowing that the shenanigans continued. In the evenings, he'd often sit up and talk for hours with Grandma, and visiting and laughing with her, and he loved talking to her. He told me one time that they were up late giggling and laughing, and Grandpa came downstairs around 3 in the morning and stood in the doorway with his hands on his hips and bellowed, "What the hell is going on?" He was buck naked. And Duane said, "Oh, God, I sure the hell didn't need to see that." And we laughed again. Of course, we all know that Duane was an avid outdoorsman, and one of the great joys in his life was to be out hunting. Many days and weekends were spent in the bush, and much time was spent in preparation, and this was also part of the fun. He looked forward to spending this special time with his friends, having great laughs, and if they tagged an animal, well, that was a bonus. Again, this gave him great joy and great life. Many of you may not know this, but Duane was a bit of a crafter as well. We found this out most recently when we were going through some of his items in the house. We were surprised to find a glue gun, a healthy supply of beads, and feathers, which he used to kind of put together and craft a few things on some indigenous pieces that he had. So who knew? I had no idea. He also had a label maker, which he put to very good use, labeling absolutely everything in his tool area that he had in the basement there. So that thing was on fire, I'm sure. Everything was labeled, and he was very organized. So he also had a real appreciation for antiques, and he loved how old that shit was and how cool it was. So he had quite a number of really unique items over the years, and so it's hard to imagine him going antiquing, but nevertheless he did, and you know, he was a real regular Martha Stewart in the end anyway, so we tease him about that. We know that in his most recent years, Duane struggled with his health and was in and out of the hospital a few times. When I spoke with him last, he said he wasn't in any pain. So that was good for us to know, and for him especially. He was able to pass away peacefully on the 26th of July. And I think he felt like he was ready to go. Duane, as you know, ascribed to no formal religion at all. In fact, I don't think he believed in God. I'm pretty sure he didn't.
No, not at all.
Not at all, okay. Affirmed by Carrie, not at all. So, but we would be wrong to think that he didn't have any guiding principles in his life, because he had hard work, integrity, honesty, friendship, and respect, and above all, no bullshit, even though he was a real bullshitter himself. He was an honest man, and there was no black or white. He didn't mince words when sharing his opinion, and whether you chose to agree with his opinion or not, well, that was your problem. So it was up to you. But he definitely lived according to his own terms, and he was funny, and actually pretty sentimental as well. And he'd call often to reminisce about the old times, especially some of the times that he spent with my dad, Harold, and he missed him a lot. Duane lived his life to the fullest. He loved his family, his children, and his grandchildren. He will be lovingly remembered by his daughters, Cori, Carrie, her partner Kevin, and Chelsea, and her partner Lance, stepdaughter Jennifer, 4 grandchildren, Donovan, Dawson, Ariana, Dayla, his brother Craig, and his aunt Olga, who isn't able to be here today, but she's 95. So, and he was of course predeceased by his daughter Dana, parents Bill and Delma, and his brothers Art and Harold. All right. So at this point, I think we're going to play a song. Says, yes, we are. Okay, so Chalet is giving me the thumbs up. So just something to ponder, and then we'll invite Carrie and then Chelsea and then Terry up to say a few words.
Take on this old world, but to me, you know you'll always do.
So we'll invite Chelsea forward to say a few words.
Okay. Just in case.
And Lance, possibly.
Just in case. Just in case. Okay. It's too tall for me. Looking right into it.
Got to get right close to it, Chelsea. Pull it down.
This one. Oh, there we go. There we go. For short people. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Lance. Nice to meet you guys today. So I'm just going to read what Chelsea has here for you guys. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for coming today. For those who don't know me, this is Duane's youngest daughter, Chelsea. I'm not Chelsea. I don't really know where to start or what to say, but if I could say anything about my dad, it would have been my favorite memories of him and I. First, when we lived in the townhouse, every day when you would come home from work and from hunting, I would jump from the top of the stairs into your arms. It's a long jump. Second, my dad always said to me, if I could shrink you down when you were a little girl, I would do it in a heartbeat. Well, Dad, I wish you could do that now. This is gonna get hard to get through. Come on.
Okay, well, I'm here.
I miss you, Dad, and I love you so much. Chicken lips. That's between them. Have fun with Grandma, Grandpa, your brothers, and don't be causing any trouble up there. Again, thank you all for coming today, coming to celebrate my dad's life. He'll always have a special spot in our hearts, and a huge thank you to my cousin Andrea and everybody else who came out here today, and Uncle Terry for helping with everything. You guys have done amazing, so thank you very much. That's it.
Thanks, guys. So now we'll call upon Terry to say a few words. Well, I'm going to make this taller. Hang on a second.
Whatever.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, here we go. This is a story of a man known as Duane. His opinions could be outrageous. He hated political games. Driving big truck reporters, went to small alleys he was sent. He told many co-workers and customers to F off and get banned. He loved the outdoors and sleeping in a tent, and after a few Gibson's whiskeys, his lips, they would vent. He also loved hunting for the moose and the deer, loved practical jokes, and dentists he feared. His forte at hunting camp was building a mansion-sized loo, because the first thing every morning, it was a smoke and a huge poo. At times he could be gruff, but he was a marshmallow inside. A real good-hearted person with a whole lot of pride. This was supposed to be this hard. It's been 43 years since we first crossed our paths. We battled many trials and tribulations and had many good-hearted laughs. If you can imagine, he's my neighbor, first neighbor. Both our first houses, we each about half a duplex. Here's a truck driver with potty mouth, living next door to a tax investigator. Somehow we made it work. My good friend, I will miss you. Things just won't be the same. Gone is that little bit of craziness while hunting big game. But what mattered most, many times he would say, his love for his family, as we remember him today. Rest in peace, Duane. Oh, just a second. I forgot. So we've talked about all his great hunting prowess and whatnot, right? You see all the pictures up there. We have a lot of good hunts, a lot of good laughs. So just to show you that it's legal, it says, this certifies that Duane Halisheff has successfully, certifies that Duane Halisheff has successfully completed the Canadian Firearms Safety Course and Test on the safe handling and use of firearms and firearm laws. Yeah, I know. We found this newspaper clipping. This is going to be probably late 60s. The city youth is in the Royal Alexander Hospital after accidentally shooting himself in the right foot. Duane Halisheff of 80th Street was injured late Thursday afternoon while hunting gophers in the field northeast of the city. Mrs. Halisheff said today that her son attempted to fire his .22 caliber rifle, but it did not discharge. She said he went to check it again and it fired. The bullet passed through the boy's foot just above the toes. The youth's condition is not serious. Now here's a real story. He wasn't hunting gophers. You know the game they call splits where you throw a knife and you move your feet close together? Yeah, well him and I won't say who it was, we're playing splits with 22s. So. Anyways, he was definitely one of a kind. So, rest in peace, Duane. Oh yeah. Thank God you're here. I'm sure as many of you know that Duane liked to have the odd whiskey. Okay, maybe more than the odd one once in a while. Gibson's was his choice probably for about the last 5 or 6 years. So I have a sleeve of shot glasses, and once we get the meal going here, if someone would like to get everybody's attention, whoever wants to come and have a shot of Gibson's in honor of Duane, we can do that. And it's kind of an interesting little story. When I went to pick this up today, I went to his favorite liquor store where he always went in the north end there, Sobeys, and I picked up this Gibson's whiskey, and I asked her they're sold in those little shooter glasses, and the lady says no, but there's a guy standing beside her who doesn't work there. He says, oh, I've got some, and he goes out, comes back in, and he has me this whole sleeve of glasses. Like, that's kind of strange. So the lady says, the cashier says, so you like Gibson's? I said, not really, I like to drink rum instead, but you know, it's a friend of mine, a memorial for him. I said, he always used to buy his Gibson's here, he'd buy the 60-pound bottle, 60 ounces. She goes, is that Duane? I go, yeah. So, and here's the rest of the story. The guy who gave me the sleeve of glasses was actually a Gibson's rep. This one's free on Gibson's, he gave it to us.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, that would be the guy, he's a customer, so I can't say that.
So I think, just in conclusion, we just want to say a few thank yous. First of all, to our friends at Park Memorial, who've taken such good care of us these last couple of weeks and planning for our celebration of Duane's life today. I also really want to thank Terry and Kate, good family friends, and of course you can see that Terry's a good friend of my Uncle Duane's and a good friend of our family, so we really appreciate that love and support. Also, a special thank you to Stephen, who made the cards, and Rob, who's been helping behind the scenes with some of the moving. And finally, a really special and thanks in advance, if you will, to both Kevin and Lance for their continued and ongoing support of the girls, and just thanks for being there for them. And you know, certainly we're going to need help in the days to come to support one another as a family. And finally, thank you to all of you for coming to take time this afternoon to come and share the celebration with us for Duane. please take a moment to go around. There's pictures on the table there. There's some back there. There's a few things over here. Careful, don't bump into the deer mounts that we brought, but both of those are Duane's as well. And I think the staff will be putting out some light refreshments, but pay attention for when we ring the bell for that shot of whiskey and we can toast Duane, and just please enjoy your time together, and thanks once again on behalf of our family for being here today to celebrate Duane. Thanks everyone. And I think we have one more song.
I know you're up in heaven, but damn, it hurts like hell. 'Cause I'd just be pretending if I said anything else. I know God don't make mistakes, but this sure feels like one. That won't change the facts, that won't bring you back. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you. Thank God for all the memories, pictures on my phone. They don't feel much, but I feel less alone. And I know you're with the angels, right where you if you want to know, you left a legacy of love. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, they'll not remember you. You lighten up a whole room like that, made us think, made us feel, made us all that. You always giving that shirt off your back. I miss you bad, I miss you bad. Well, I'll cry 'cause it's over, smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you. Oh, I promise you, I'll never not remember you.
Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon and help yourself to some refreshments. Thanks.
Thank you.